Small Midwestern river town in summertime. Suddenly shattered by the powerful turbines of the Air National Guard Hydroplane series. Fast and fearless men in their machines have come to challenge the mighty Ohio River to race in the Madison Regatta and the 61st running of the Indiana Governor's Cup. Welcome to the 2011 Air National Guard Series. Today it's round one for the Unlimited Hydroplanes, the Madison Regatta for the Indiana Governor's Cup. Hi everybody, I'm Bill Weber. Thanks for having us in for the race. Unwrap any new season in any sport, you'll get plenty of excitement and surprises. And that is the story for the Air National Guard Series. But there is one bold headline here. 57-year-old Dave Villwock has 62 career wins. That ties him with the legendary Bill Muncy for the most victories in the history of the sport. Today, Villwock is on the verge of breaking a record many thought would never be broken. But parked in the pits, a fleet of fast boats and a roster of talented drivers determined to keep Villwock out of victory lane, at least for today. 61st trip for the Unlimiteds to Madison, but because of the construction on the Ohio River Bridge, they've never seen a course quite like this. The normally long and lightning fast course has been trimmed from 2.5 miles to a tough and tight 1 2/3 miles. For more on that, the man who drove his team to the 2006 National High Point Team Championship, my partner Mike Allen.
Thanks, Bill. The teams normally come to Madison looking for the speeds of Talladega, but this weekend we're going to get the excitement of a Bristol, Tennessee. The teams have been thrashing in the pits, changing propellers, gearboxes like I've never seen before. Why is that? Different circumstances this weekend. We've got a short course, and while top-end speed is very important, it's going to be about getting your boat around the corners and what lane you get in. So we've got a lot of boats and not a lot of water.
You know, I like it. I really do. I think it's important that we as drivers and as a series learn how to adapt to different race courses. So, you know, different sizes, even different shapes.
Unfortunately, when we're running in a fishbowl like we are here, we're going to be coming right back into our own junk, and that's challenging.
Everything is different for this course, the 1 2/3 miles, than any other place that we race all year. So it's going to be interesting to see what things will work and what things do not.
It's been 20 years since they've been on a 1 2/3 miles course, so nobody really has a setup for it. So it's all new to every team.
It's a bull ring, and I think we're the best equipped to be able to handle this, but it's going to get rough and nasty.
Well, here are the qualifying results. Now, Mike talked about Talladega-type speeds. You see Villwock, the top qualifier this year. Last year, Steve David was the fastest boat in qualifying, over 154 miles an hour. Here's the event format for the season opener. Remember, qualifying points do count. There will be 3 sets of heats, a various number of boats in each heat. The final field set by total points. And here's how they ran in Heat 1A. This was a 3-boat heat. On board here was Steve David in the Oh Boy Oberto. He's the defending series champion. And Mike, you get a real good feel here for how rough this river is going to be today.
As you can see from inside the cockpit, it's always smooth when you're out front, but they're definitely going to have their hands full with this river this weekend.
Jeff Bernard in the U5, the Graham trucking machine, running to his 2nd place finish in Heat 1A. And here are the results. Steve David gets 400 points. It's a 3rd place finish for J.W. Myers, 225 points. Steve David, the winner in Heat 1A.
That was a cakewalk. I know it's not going to be that easy the rest of the weekend. We'll take those 400 bones and move on to the next heat.
Now let's take a look at the highlights from Heat 1B, and this was all about one man, Dave Villwock, in the spirit of Qatar. Got a good start there on the outside, drove a really fine heat here, Mike.
Yep, Dave's not known for being in 1, 2, or 3, and I think he's going to want the outside this weekend because the race course is so short.
On board there briefly with Greg Hobb, a good run, but he was penalized for encroachment, so he finishes 4th. 400 points for Dave Villwock in Heat 1B.
It was bumpy to begin with, you know, but then after the race got going, it smoothed out.
Heat 1C was a 3-boat heat with Kip Brown leading the way in the U-17, the Miss Red Dot. His 2nd lap, the fastest, over 132 miles an hour. On board with Scott Liddycoat here. He's the rookie.
Yeah, he is a rookie, Bill, and I got to tell you, that's a pretty weird feeling because this is the first time he's ever been to the boat. He's never tested or anything like that.
Other than you and me, I think he's the most excited guy here. Had only seen one unlimited race in his life before coming to Madison. Meanwhile, 400 points for a very excited Kip Brown.
It's finally coming together, man. Third fast qualifier and a heat victory. I couldn't be happier. And thanks to Air National Guard for coming on board with us this year. And man, they must be good luck for me because we're doing great.
So here are the points after the first round of heats. Dave Villwock has 500 points. Remember, the qualifying points are included here. So right now it's Villwock, David Brown, and Liddycoat, your top four. One boat not on that list, the brand new 88-degree men boat for J. Michael Kelly. This is just a few miles from the course. The team drove 2 days nonstop to get here from Seattle. Work continues on this hull. One problem they have had is actually fitting the cockpit for J. Michael Kelly. There you see him on the left with his seat, trying to get properly positioned in that boat. Those guys working very hard, trying to get to the race course. And when we come back, Heat 2A on Versus.
In a moment, a person's world can be turned upside down. These are the times when you can deliver one of life's most important gifts, hope. These are the times we prepare for as health professionals in the Air Guard. So explore our website or talk to a recruiter today and discover the challenge, adventure, and excitement of serving your community and country in the Air Guard.
When the world's best go racing on water, they all have one thing in common. Propellers by 5-Axis Industries. Unlimited Hydroplanes, the world's fastest race boats. Class 1, where performance and endurance are put to an incredible test. 5-Axis propellers power champions in offshore, F1, and anywhere else high performance on water means extremely high performance. The world's best rely on propellers from 5-Axis Industries, where technology and craftsmanship come together.
The American Garage, the temple of the tune-up, the Taj Mahal of overhaul. More of them count on AutoZone parts than ever before. But parts are just part of what we do. Our trusted advice and helping hands approach is everywhere. So, whether it's his place, her place, or the pro's place, parts are just part of what we do.
Get in the zone!
AutoZone.
Where do you go to find a super business? You know, the ones who do such a super job, they're backed by the super guarantee. Only Super Pages. Wherever you are, wherever you're going, you'll find the super business you need. So next time, let the good guys save the day. Get the super guarantee, only at Super Pages. In the book, on your phone, or online.
Hurricanes Rookie of the Year, Jeff Skinner.
What a shot!
At only 19 years of age, he's reached rock star status in Carolina. Together with teammate Eric Stahl, they've created a perfect harmony on ice.
Eric Stahl scores!
Now, the Bruins head into the eye of the storm to wreak havoc on the Canes home opener.
Marchand scores!
Wednesday night hockey, Bruins-Canes. Hockey is here on Versus.
Coverage of the 2011 Air National Guard Hydroplane Series is brought to you by Air National Guard. Visit GoANG.com to learn more about exciting opportunities in your area. Valken Sports. Get out and play paintball. Check ValkenPaintball.com for a field near you. And by Whispering Turbines, where life begins at 200 miles per hour.
Ready for more action on the Ohio River in Madison, Indiana. There is the lineup for Heat 2A, with Kip Brown looking for another victory after being a winner in his earlier heat. Now, what's new is actually something old in Unlimited Hydroplane racing. This year, the series has gone back to fighting for positions. The boat's milling about, and the drivers trying to get the best lane, the lane they want. This is a change most guys are for.
I couldn't be happier about the milling, fighting for lanes. That's what I do when we race inboards. I'm good at it.
Fight for lanes is huge. That's how boat racing started. That's how it should be.
to me, that's what boat racing was all about. There's a big part of that game, and is getting the inside lane and fighting for it rather than, doing it with equipment and speed, and they hand you the inside lane.
30 seconds before the start, you cannot be ahead of a particular buoy. If you are, it's a one-lap penalty. So the idea is to be right there at 30 seconds and then try to protect that lane all the way to the start. Another philosophy is you haul buggies, you hit it right at 30 and cut everybody else off that's on the inside. You're going to see a lot of strategies out there and probably a lot of damaged boats.
It's not just the fastest boat, but it's the person that can get it in the right place at the right time. And a little bit of luck plays into that too.
I'm a racer. I just love going racing. I'm not afraid to scratch something off. I've been, one of my favorite things is if you're afraid to get something bent or scratched or hurt, then go golfing.
Well, that's not always true either, is it, Mike? Now, in recent years, lanes were assigned. But this year, they've gone back to the way it was many years ago. You've got to get out there. You've got to find your lane. And this is something that we've seen already here in Madison. These boats flaming out because they're coming off plane.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but with this new, what we call park and start, this is going to be a problem all year long. But the drivers do enjoy fighting for their lanes.
There you see Kip Brown going by on the outside. That's Mike Webster trying to get back up to speed in the U-22. On board with Greg Hopp as they go down the backstretch, trying to get into position. It looks like Kip Brown is going to go for lane 2 here, Mike.
Yep, I think so, Bill. Looks like the 57 is going to be on his inside, and they're coming around now for the front straightaway to get this start going.
So Mark Evans will have the inside lane, but he is well behind these two as they come down. The clock counting down to 0 and the green flag in the air for 2A. And Kip has the early lead, and here comes Greg Hopp. That U-100, that all-white boat, that's fast, but it doesn't like to turn.
No. This boat is fast. It has a smaller trap on the inside, but it doesn't go around the corners as well as the newer boats.
This is rough water at this end of the course.
Yes, it is. There's always a hole down in the first turn in Madison, and the drivers will have to be aware of that all weekend long.
Kip Brown down the backstretch in the Miss Red Dot. 35 years old, looking for his first career victory.
Great boat ride there, Bill. Pretty smooth. It's always smooth when you're out front.
As opposed to this ride for Mark Evans. He's got the inside lane, but he is going through some rough water.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's having handling issues there or not, Bill, but she did slide out a couple of lanes.
And handling is going to be the issue all afternoon here on this course.
Very key this weekend.
See Kip with a big lead, back on board.
And right there, Bill, is about where that hole is going to be all weekend long when this thing gets rough later on with more boats in the heat.
Now, Mike, explain what you're talking about when you say they hit a hole.
A hole is actually where the currents come together on this river, and it makes for an absolute nightmare in this first turn with what is literally looking like a hole in the water.
Almost like hitting a pothole on the road. It can really throw, in this case, your boat into an awkward position.
Exactly, and if that thing ever happens to catch that right sponson, you're going to have your hands full trying to get it back straight.
That's Kip Brown driving for his uncle Nate Brown, and he is excited about the 2011 season.
We've made some changes to some underwater gear, sharpened angles, done all the fine-tuning things that a guy wants to do to make one of these things go from a third or fourth place boat up to a first or second place boat.
2008 Rookie of the Year in the Unlimited Hydroplane. And there's a rough spot. That's just what you're talking about.
Exactly, Bill. As you saw that thing take off, it went into a hole and bounced back out pretty high.
And he's going to go through the same spot in a moment. And the more water you see coming up, that's how rough the ride is, and you want to keep that boat out of the water.
Exactly. Out of the water means speed.
Because the water means drag, basically, right?
Yeah, that's like putting the brakes on, and these guys are trying to air these things out as much as they can without turning them into airplanes.
You can see Mark Evans had his hands full in that U-57. There's a 17 of Kip Brown running out front, looking for his second heat victory of the afternoon.
Great boat ride there, Bill. Looks like he's in lane 2, probably playing it safe so that he doesn't have any problems with this corner.
His fastest lap was the first one, 129.4 miles per hour. And there you see the rough ride that Mark Evans is getting.
Yeah, and about half track right there, Bill, is when they're going to start putting that front wing into that thing and put it back on the water.
You can't touch the rear wing once you're out on the water, but the driver can control the front wings or the canard.
The right pedal is smashed down as a throttle. On the left side, you've got 2 pedals that operate the wing up and down, which controls the boat on the water entirely.
So what are you doing on the front stretch or on the straightaway?
As you come out of the turn, you're going to be putting more wing into it to try and float the boat. But eventually, you're going to have to put the wing back down to put the boat back on the water.
And then through the turns?
Through the turns, the wing is up as high as you can get it so that you can get as much air packed underneath the hull to get it around those corners fast. Here, Bill, there looks like about half track is where they'll start bringing more wing into it to put that nose back down so it doesn't go over.
That's Mike Webster. He's about to be lapped by Kip Brown. So it's been a good day for Kip Brown here in Madison. Winner in his first heat and about to take the checkered flag in his second heat. Wow, look at Webster's boat starting to walk a little bit on him. So there's Kip Brown coming to take the checkered flag. Greg Hopp gets a second, Mark Evans a third, and Mike Webster comes home fourth. That's Greg Hopp. 300 points for him in Heat 2A. So a very successful start for Kip Brown. You take a look at the results from 2A and get to meet the third member of our broadcast team, Lindsay Guthrie, who has the story about a night of champions and charity.
We're standing here in front of the Miss Madison Hydroplane, a boat owned by the city of Madison, Indiana. And this week we had the opportunity to honor 13 of its former legendary drivers in the history of hydroplane racing with an amazing dinner celebration. There was food, fun, and dancing for all ages. The event was held at the Boneyard Grill, and it's not only a great place to catch a bite to eat, but it also offers a journey through hydroplane history on its walls. It's no great surprise that a majority of the items on display chronicle the 50-year history of the Miss Madison, and the variety of mementos and memorabilia is staggering. For the drivers in attendance, the evening was a homecoming on many levels.
I love Madison, Indiana. You know, I've been coming here for 50 years. Would you believe that? I came with my outboards and then later on with my inboards, and then they asked me to drive the Miss Madison, which I couldn't believe they'd do that.
The last time I was here, I was driving a boat for Jerry Shana, the Miss Renault, and that was 1984. Last time we were here. Madison has changed some, but it's still Madison, and the people are wonderful.
Things like today, driving across the bridge and remembering the turn under the bridge, remembering Jim McCormick's win in '71. I was rookie of the year in '71. Madison just floods the memory bank.
There's a bunch of great drivers that's been in the Miss Madison. I just have been fortunate enough to be the one of them.
Here is the roster of Miss Madison's drivers over the past 50 years.
Congratulations, Kip. That's 2 for 2. How does it feel?
2 for 2 is a beautiful thing, man. Twice as good as the first. I tell you what, I'm super, super happy about the Red Dot team and our chances here today. You know, to have been driving for 3 years, never had a win, and win the first 2 heats of the season, man, I'm stoked.
Here's another team that's stoked. The 88-degree men, they have made it to the course. Now they're going to put their brand new boat in the water for the first time. Everybody wants to be a part of the Madison Regatta, even if it means, well, being a human buoy. Maybe we can get Lindsay to give that a try a little later on. We'll see. More action coming up on Versus.
He's my boyfriend.
That's my dad.
My son.
He's my hero.
The Air Guard, Battlefield Airmen.
It's time to score double points.
Papa's in the house.
Get double points every day to earn free pizza fast with Papa Rewards at papajohns.com.
The best way to kick off game day is with a better pizza, a Papa John's pizza.
Plus, get a large Works pizza or a Tuscan 6 cheese. Your choice, just $11 each. Get double points every day at papajohns.com.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
The official pizza sponsor of the NFL.
Every week on NFL Turning Point.
We're going to take every man in here together.
We take you inside.
Stay hungry. Let's go.
The game's most critical moments. NFL Turning Point, Thursday night at 10 on Versus.
Are your best new customers just around the corner? Now there's a way to reach them there, online. Advertising by neighborhood with Comcast Spotlight. Target your message where your customers are, not where they're not. Advertise online with Xfinity.com and over 30 other popular websites. Get started at ComcastSpotlight.com/Xfinity.
Believe it or not, this is a catheter. It's the new SpeedyCath Compact for women. Now available from Liberator Medical with full Medicare and private insurance reimbursement. Get your catheters from a company that really cares about you and your health. Call Liberator Medical. Get your free SpeedyCath Compact. Sample 6-pack. Shipping is free.
1-800-662-9981. 1-800-662-9981.
Come, experience the park after dark. Time to go wild at Fright Fest.
Ride the giant roller coasters. Fly with the bats and scream at the Scream Factory Haunted House. Bring the little goblins to Booville just for kids. It's Wild Waves Scream Park during Fright Fest. Weekends in October. Scared yet?
Go wild.
Welcome back to Madison as part of the Air National Guard series, the traditional flyover. Now let's meet the fourth member of our team, Steve Montgomery.
Obviously, a lot of major changes in this sport for 2011. The biggest, the Air National Guard. Captain Rondell Perry visited a couple of events last season, and fortunately, you liked what you saw.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we're always looking for anything that we can do to get the word out, as many impressions as possible. And as we were looking around at different venues that were available, we thought, wow, what a great opportunity. Here's guys that are doing stuff on a part-time basis. They have full-time jobs, just like we do. And yet, on the weekends, they're doing something absolutely amazing and even kind of a little crazy. And so it just seems like a wonderful addition to what we're trying to do and the kind of words that we're trying to get out there to everybody.
Teams preparing for the next heat here in Madison. Now, earlier, Mike talked about gearboxes and how they were making numerous changes up and down pit row. Well, let's get more on that from Mike with his unlimited access pass on gearboxes.
Bill, I've driven these things, and they are fast and tough to handle. Let me show you how this works. This is a T-55 Lycoming turbine engine out of a Chinook helicopter that produces right at 3,000 horsepower. So how do you harness 3,000 horsepower and transfer that to speed on the race course? The engine is connected to the gearbox through this shaft. The gearbox then transfers that horsepower through the prop shaft. The prop shaft goes through the hull through an aluminum or steel tube that we call a shaft log. At the back of the boat, the prop shaft is connected to a $15,000 propeller that is spinning almost 8,000 RPMs. And I'm here to tell you, Bill, that makes for an unbelievable ride.
Here's the lineup for Heat 2B at the Madison Regatta for the Indiana Governor's Cup. See Steve David with a win earlier. The rookie Scott Liddicoat, J.W. Myers, and J. Michael Kelly. And that's J. Michael Kelly's 88-degree men boat, but it is not performing very well, and it is headed back to the pits. Getting ready for the green flag, but Mike, these guys look early.
Yeah, it looks like it, Bill. When you see that rooster tail drop, that means they had to back off a little bit so that they don't jump the gun.
You could almost hear them feathering the throttle so they wouldn't be across the start line before the clock hit 0. There's Scott Liddicoat. He's the rookie. By rule, he has to start as a trailer behind the field until he gains more race experience. Meanwhile, up front, a two-boat race for the lead. Steve David comes through those rollers, through those holes, and down the backstretch with the lead.
Yeah, you can see, Bill, that thing came through the corner very, very well, and you put about 2 or 3 boat lengths on J.W. Myers. Smooth sailing ahead. It's always nice to be out front where you can control the entire race and put that boat in second place wherever you want him.
But you have to have that 7-boat length lead to move over a lane either way.
Exactly, Bill. And the reason for 7 boat lengths is anything shorter than that, and there's a very good chance you're going to blow that boat over.
J.W. Myers in that Peterson May machine, running in second place. That's a brand new team this season.
Brand new team, beautiful paint job on the boat. These guys are scraping whatever they can to get out here this weekend to race.
It's the old boy Oberto, our GoPro camera. For driver Steve David, defending series champion with a really good boat and a pretty decent ride on this shortened 1 2/3 course. J.W. Myers runs in second in a reworked boat with a brand new team, and it has been a struggle for these guys so far.
Week before last, I think I set a new personal record of 112 hours in the same week at the shop. And then after that was all done, I hopped in the truck and drove nonstop to Chicago area to go meet with Peters and May. And yeah, we're a little sleep deprived, but you know, we're here and we're ready to go.
And once they got here, that crew worked until 1:30 Thursday morning and 1:30 Friday morning. And that work not really paying off right now because here comes the rookie Lidico. That's the Falcon.com boat, and he is really showing some stuff.
Yep, doing a great job here this weekend for his first time in a boat, playing it safe on the outside. There's another shot at those holes we were telling you about.
Now, he has to start as the trailer, but once the race begins, he can catch and pass other boats. Scott Lidico, a rookie, but he's back home on the Ohio River.
19 years ago when I started driving, I qualified my first time ever driving 5-liter on the Ohio River in Steubenville, Ohio. And it's kind of full circle now. 19 years later, I'm hoping to get qualified in an Unlimited in the Ohio River. So, River's always been good to me.
Being good to him again today. He runs second to Steve David in the Oh Boy Alberto. There's J.W. Myers, runs in third now. Lidico flashing in front of you right there in the U7, the Falcon.com.
Every time you hear those RPMs singing like that, Bill, that means she's coming out of the water.
The veteran Steve David and his team trying to chase down another championship.
To win championships, and we've been blessed to win 3 consecutive ones, you have to treat each heat as a race. Strategize each heat, get the maximum points you can in every heat. You can't think season long. Every heat is a different race for us, and that way you will accumulate enough wins and enough points that hopefully your national championship again.
And he has done that like a master the last 3 years. And he's surrounded with a really good team and a talented crew chief in Mike Hansen.
Very talented, one of the best out there. And the best part about Mike Hansen is he's a former driver. So when you come in and you explain something to a crew chief like that, he knows exactly what you need, and he's able to give it to Steve David.
Now, you know about these boats that Ted Porter has brought here. You've raced those boats, you've won in that boat. What's his feeling in this boat for the first time?
Right now, Bill, Scott is trying to get used to the speed at the end of the straightaway compared to what he was used to in a 5-liter. The other thing is the boat is huge compared to a 5-liter, which usually means when you go through these corners, he's got a lot more weight and a lot more G's that he's pulling compared to the smaller boats he ran before.
Now, he is a rookie in the Unlimited, but he has a ton of experience racing other stuff.
He does, Bill. I've had the pleasure of racing Scott over the years, and he's a fine driver as well.
Steve David coming around to get the checkered flag. 400 more points and another outstanding performance for Scott Lidico. Now let's go back and look at the start. This is the GoPro onboard camera with Steve David heading into turn 1 with JW on his right.
Bill, the shortest way around this race course is to hug those buoys, and he is on the pins.
And if you hit those, it's a penalty.
Exactly.
Let's check in with Lindsay on some other racing going on this weekend here on the Ohio River.
We're joined now by PUSA Managing Director Martin Sanborn. Welcome.
Welcome. It's great to be here.
So this is the first year we have joined these 2 series, the P1 and the H1 together. Tell me a little bit about this relationship and how you hope it'll pan out for the rest of the season.
Well, we're really excited. I met Sam Cole last year at the Detroit Gold Cup. It was fantastic. I mean, I've always been a fan of boat racing. I've raced for years. And what we've put together with the P1 series is kind of a mingling of offshore, but what we're really doing is coming back to where all the boats are identical, get back to limited classes, and put the focus on the drivers again. And that's what we've done with these boats. They're all the same. No matter where they race in the world, the boats are identical. This is where the series is kicking off. We couldn't be more thrilled to team up with H1. The spectacular venues, the professionalism of H1 and the entire staff from there, it really gives us an edge. So, I mean, we get all the benefits and still get to promote a great product. We couldn't ask for a better opportunity.
Thanks, Lindsay. Here are the results from Heat 2B. Steve David had the fastest lap. It was lap 1 over 126 miles an hour. Let's go down to Mike.
Congratulations, Steve. 2 for 2, but I saw that hop down the back straight. And what are the water conditions like?
Now they're getting real snotty. When you got a lot of good guys running together at speed, the water's definitely going to get a little bit rougher for everyone.
So predictions for the final is going to be strap in, hang on, and look out the lane.
Hang on, real dark glasses, so you can't see what's going to happen to you.
Well, like we've been talking about, speed is nice, but handling is very critical. More Unlimited Hydroplane action from Madison coming up.
AmericanPaintball.com.
Formula Powerboats, born of innovation and superb design, executed to deliver the ride, performance, and amenities you expect. Formula Sun Sports and Super Sports define day boating adventure. Formula Yachts and Performance Cruisers, striking and luxurious. And Fast Tech Hull technology powers you to big water high performance. For a world-class boating experience, contact your Formula dealer or visit formulaboats.com today.
What am I hoping for? Cool, great girl, get along with, lets me be me. I enjoy her being her, lives close.
So you really want a relationship?
Yes. I mean, I didn't sign up to eHarmony for dates.
Review all your matches for free at eharmony.com.
Andrews gets back in, and we move to the top of the 8th, tied 3-3.
Who cares if you never write a bestseller? And so what if you don't become the next .com gazillionaire? Or get a multi-year deal to play in the big leagues? It doesn't matter, because you know how it feels to own a car that looks like $1 million. Turtle Wax Ice. Do yourself proud.
There's a better way to fight flakes. Garnier Fructis Anti-Dandruff Shampoo. So effective, we dare you to take the Fructis 48-hour challenge. You'll stay flake-free, or it is free, guaranteed.
And now Versus and the stars of NBC's Up All Night ask this parenting question.
When is it too early to teach your baby about sports?
It's never too early. Okay, now that is hockey. You know, your dad was quite the player, too. Speed, strength, and quads of steel. Yep. You got my quads. Might have been very good to know. You just sit right there for it. No. Got your mommy's balance, didn't you?
Up All Night, a new comedy. Wednesdays, 8, 7 Central on NBC.
Madison, Indiana is tucked away in the southern portion of the state, about 90 miles from Indianapolis. And in 2006, the majority of Madison's downtown area was designated the largest contiguous National Historic Landmark in the U.S. with 133 blocks. The parade, part of the pageantry, in keeping with our patriotic theme, let's meet our hometown hero. Senior Master Sergeant Mike Daggett is the recruiting and retention superintendent for the Indiana Air National Guard. Mike, what's your #1 need in the state of Indiana?
Hi, our #1 need right now is medical professionals. If you're a doctor, a physician's assistant, or anything in the medical community, we're looking for you to help us out in a homeland defense mission.
And for the younger people considering the Air National Guard, there's always that scholarship program.
That's right. We have 100% tuition to any state-sponsored school, plus our training is college accredited too, so you can knock some other classes out.
Well, thanks for everything you do. Enjoy the race.
Thank you.
And we're ready to go back to racing. Time for Heat 2C here on the Ohio River. A 3-boat lineup. Dave Vilwack, Jeff Bernard, and Brian Perkins. Vilwack in the 98, Bernard in the 5, and Brian Perkins in the green 21 boat. Take a look at our GoPro onboard cameras. That's a great look as they come down for the start. Vilwack on the inside, Bernard in the middle.
A little bit different strategy here, Bill, this time. Vilwack is usually out 3 or 4. Looks like he's going to test the waters on the inside today.
Trying to find out different things earlier in the heats for the big-time final.
Exactly. Plus a little bit of strategy. You don't want to give everything away, so he's probably trying to psych the other guys out as well.
Hey, what's it like for Bernard being in between those two boats in the middle?
Well, for Jeff, he's got to watch the boat that's on his left, make sure he doesn't get into the rooster tail, but you want to be on his hip so that if he goes to push you out one way or the other, you're there quickly to react.
You don't want to fall 7 boat lengths behind because then the leader can change lanes on you.
At that point, he can go wherever he wants. He's dictating the entire race course.
And Dave kind of has a reputation for liking to drift out in the turns.
Yeah, once he gets that kind of a lead, you know, you can pretty much do whatever. So he uses it to his advantage and makes these guys run a little bit further around the race course.
Vilwack in first in the Spirit of Guitar. Then it's Bernard in the Graham Trucking running second. In third is Brian Perkins, a rookie in 2007 who grew up in Seattle, got his start sweeping floors and cleaning parts in the U8 shop. Now he runs for one of the smaller teams, and that's a challenge.
It takes time for all these teams to maybe find combinations. A couple of these bigger guys maybe have the combinations, they already know what to run, like the Qatar guys and the Alberto guys, but everybody else out here, we're kind of scrambling maybe to find setups.
How hard is that, especially when you don't have a lot of time to go out and practice?
Very difficult, Bill, because unlike race weekend, if you need to go out and practice, there's no rescue teams there, so all the practice is really done at the races.
try and get as much time on the water as possible. Bill Walk leads. That's on board with Bernard in the Graham Trucking, running second. Perkins continues to run third. That's on board with Brian now. Is that him sliding out a lane?
Bill, that's more about getting a good clean water so that the prop can get a good bite.
You see Bernard now really hugging the inside as well. There's Perkins. But I'll tell you, this really shows how well this 96 boat of Bill Walk is running. He is way out.
Very nice setup there, Bill, as you can see. Smooth corners. Actually, the race course looks pretty good right now.
I bet it's not going to look like that in a little while.
I don't think so.
Now, the 5 boat of Bernard, the 7 boat of Liddicoat, and the 57 of Mark Evans, those 3 are teammates. That's Ted Porter's 3-boat team. That's the challenge.
That's a huge challenge, Bill, because you've got to have the right product to put in each of these boats to give these guys a fair chance out there. That means gearboxes, propellers, and engines.
They have extra pieces of parts over there at Formula Boats Racing. Whereas a guy like Perkins and his team, they got to make everything live and everything last.
Yeah, just about everything they've got, the best of the best, is in the boat for every heat.
So Brian Perkins runs third, Bill Walk is in first, and in the middle is Jeff Bernard. That team did a lot of work getting ready for the 2011 season. They're hoping for big results.
Being that we didn't have any boats upside down last year, we actually got a lot of needed maintenance that instead of rebuilding boats this year, so it was a real busy, good off-season for our team.
There's Bernard in the 5, the Graham Trucking. Boat gets a little light there.
A little bit light, and about halfway down, you can see Jeff's got that front wing coming into play to put it back down in the water.
And even though he's in third, this is a really good run for Perkins and his team. They fought through some problems. They've got out there. They're having a good, strong run. Nobody's going to catch Bill Walk, and Bernard's going to come home second. But a good run for Perkins and his team in this heat. Meanwhile, this is a sight a lot of guys didn't want to see. Bill Walk up front and not having many problems.
Yeah, this is typical of that team, though. They're very good. They know what they're doing. They've got a lot of equipment to back them up, and they've got the best of the best on it right now.
So Dave, Bill Walk chasing Bill Muncie's record. He's tied with him with 62 career wins. Will number 63 come today? Bill Walk takes the checkered flag in Madison, his second heat victory of the afternoon. Second place for Jeff Bernard in the Graham Trucking. And a third place finish for Brian Perkins. There you see the results, 400 more points for Bill Walk, and that is very big. A lot going on here in Madison, a great crowd on hand. Between 80 and 100,000 people attend this race every year. It is a fan favorite on the Unlimited circuit, and Lindsay has a look at the family fun of the Madison Regatta.
All right, guys, well, you know the racing is obviously our favorite part, but this is my second favorite part, no doubt about it. We've got all of our food vendors lined up here, Philly cheesesteaks, nachos, super pretzels, anything you could possibly imagine, lemonade, and apple dumpling. Hey, it's not just about racing and it's not just about food. There's also family fun for kids of all ages. I really enjoyed sampling the fun times at Madison, but there was one thing I did not want to do. But the producer said it was either the bull or jump in the river to be a human safety buoy. No problem.
After riding that, does she know what it's like to drive one of these things?
That's about as close as you're going to get to the feel.
Steve David on what he considers his home course, 12 career wins, looking for number 13 today.
As a health professional, you hear it. A call to serve others in need. This is the sound of giving back. The beat of a glorious heart. The voice of honor. Duty. Heroism. Do you hear it? If you're a health professional that hears the call, make the call.
Got it, bro! What's this guy doing? Dude. Did you guys see that?
Maniac.
The mid-size Nissan Frontier with full-size horsepower and torque. Innovation for doers. Innovation for all.
Your car is everything. Your taxi, your moving van, your baby. And for over 30 years, AutoZone has had the parts you can count on to keep it going. But parts are just part of what we do. We're part buddy, part mentor, part of the American way of doing things. So whether you're Mr. DIY or a master mechanic, AutoZone has your back. Parts are just part of what we do.
Get in the zone.
AutoZone.
Welcome back to Madison on a hot and humid day. Temperature near 100 degrees. Getting ready for Heat 3A, but first let's check in with Lindsay, who has a special musical guest.
Well, just as things are heating up on the water, the activities around this event are heating up as well. I'm joined by country music artist, singer-songwriter Paul Overstreet. Paul, thanks for being here.
You're welcome. It's good to be here.
Well, he put on a great show for us last night. I want to hear all about how the experience was. How was it performed here in Madison?
Oh, it's great. It's a beautiful place, and people are great. We had Leroy Parnell and Presley Tucker and John Randall, myself, and a cool band. And we just had a lot of fun here. It's been great.
I guess that's how it's meant to be.
Are you a Hydros fan?
Yeah, I always have been since I was a kid. I used to love to watch these races, and it's just really remarkable. When they take those corners, you know, and they're turning, it's just amazing they can do that on the water and how fast they go.
Do you have a favorite driver?
No, not really. I just like to see the boats go.
Thanks so much, Paul.
And thank you, Lindsay, another hands-on fan of the Air National Guard Hydroplane Series, getting ready for Heat 3A. That's Jeff Bernard right there in the yellow and red boat. He's in lane 1. Brian Perkins in the green boat is in lane 2. Oh boy, Alberto, Steve David in lane 3. On the outside is Mike Webster.
Jeff's hugging those pins, Bill. It looks like he's going to be taking them to school on this start. I think he's going to nail it.
He's got the advantage in that lane 1. Green flag in the air. It's a legal start, and Bernard is the race leader. Looks like that water's getting a little rougher now, Mike.
It is, Bill. We got 4 boats out here in this heat. You're going to start to see, like you can in these turns, these boats are going to start launching a few times.
Current in this river seems to pick up late in the day when we race in Madison. That's been the trend in the past. Bernard out front, on board with the GoPro camera.
If you look close, Bill, you can see that front wing being used a lot right now by Jeff to keep that thing on the water. And as soon as he goes into this corner, wow, that was a hole.
That was a huge hit. This course is getting rougher at both ends now, it appears.
Which is unusual, Bill. It doesn't usually happen down in turn 2, but this weekend it looks like it's going to be a handful on both ends of the course.
Steve David in the Oh Boy Alberto with one boat. It looks a little light as well.
Floating that thing as much as he can to get some clean air underneath it so he can try and catch Jeff Bernard.
See, Perkins has tried to climb inside Bernard into lane 1.
Halfway down the back straightaway now, Bill, is when the driver's going to be wanting to put some of that front wing in there to keep that thing down on the water.
Now, this is what we saw earlier when he took this huge hop.
Look at that, Bill. That's about 15 feet that he came out of that lane. Probably 2 lanes, if you will.
He's lucky nobody was racing him side by side. There's been a crash. The red flag is out. The red flare has been fired. The teams must bring their boats to a halt as quickly as possible. That's the boat of Brian Perkins, and it looks like he's had contact with a rescue boat in the infield. We'll be back to check on him in a minute.
Play. Go to VulcanPaintball.com.
Formula Powerboats, born of innovation and superb design, executed to deliver the ride, performance, and amenities you expect. Formula Sun Sports and Super Sports define day-boating adventure. Formula Yachts and Performance Cruisers, striking and luxurious. And Fast Tech Hull technology powers you to big water high performance. For a world-class boating experience, contact your Formula dealer or visit formulaboats.com today.
Take a look at that. Deserves a beer, huh? Pass them down. Whoa.
You're not drinking a Miller Lite aluminum pint?
I just brought this.
It's got more taste.
It's a pint.
It's bigger.
I do not care.
Should have figured since you've been wheeling around that little knapsack.
Man up with a Miller Lite aluminum pint.
You guys wait.
It's got a wide mouth, a resealable cap, and 4 more ounces of that great Pilsner taste.
Got a Miller Lite? Cheers. My knapsack.
The NHL is on Versus. Tomorrow, the Lightning face Alex Ovechkin and the Capitals. Tuesday, the Panthers take on Evgeny Malkin and the Penguins. And Wednesday, Tim Thomas and the Bruins battle the Hurricanes. Hockey is here on Versus.
Believe it or not, this is a catheter. It's the new SpeedyCath Compact for women. Now available from Liberator Medical with full Medicare and private insurance reimbursement. Get your catheters from a company that really cares about you and your health. Call Liberator Medical. Get your free SpeedyCath Compact. Sample 6-pack. Shipping is free.
1-800-662-9981. 1-800-662-9981.
I believe in a breast cancer-free world. While we're on this search for a cure, the hope is to eradicate this issue. It really has to start with the individual. We know our own bodies. Just take the time to pay attention to what it's telling you.
Go to mylifetime.com to get informed and involved.
More Furniture for Less is proud to join with Lifetime in stopping breast cancer for life. For more information, visit mylifetime.com.
All your favorite characters are back for all new adventures.
We need to throw everything we have at them.
Go beyond the battle lines with Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Take cover! Fridays at 8, 7 Central on Cartoon Network and Xfinity TV.
Watching Versus, now part of the NBC Sports Group.
It's the season opener for the Air National Guard Unlimited Hydroplanes. Glad you could be part of the action. And now we can update you on what happened on the course. Apparently, Brian Perkins did hit a rescue boat. We've been told that Perkins and 3 rescue workers have been transported to area hospitals. If we get a report on their condition before we go off the air, we will pass it along to you. Meanwhile, because of the incident, heats 3A and 3B have been eliminated, and we're going directly to the final. And here's the lineup, headed by Steve David in the Oh Boy Oberto, and of course, Dave Villwock in the Spirit of Qatar. Villwock with 62 career wins. This could be number 63. Well, Dave, it's been an amazing story, your racing career, on the verge of breaking Bill Muncie's record. Your thoughts?
Well, it has been an amazing career. I've been privileged to be involved with a bunch of really great people for a long, long time. And so what happens with the rest of the career, who knows? But, you know, so far it's been great, and I'm just happy to be in the same area as Bill Muncie and Chip Hanauer, and, you know, be in that same little group is a privilege. So if I win anymore, or if I never win anymore, it's been great.
Everybody's excited about his chance to break the record, but he's been very humble and really downplayed it this weekend here in Madison. Well, here you go. Here's your exciting milling stuff you've been talking to me all off-season about.
This is it, Bill. This is where you've got to come up real slow. Make sure you keep the boat up on plane.
But these guys have been in these lanes for 2.5 minutes going real slow. It's not what we thought we were going to see.
No, not at all. These guys are trying to get their lanes 3 minutes before the start of the race, and as you can see, they're starting to pick up the pace now.
These boats cannot exit turn 1 until 45 seconds before the green flag. If they exit it too early, there's a penalty. They have to go around. They'll have to catch the field. That will be very difficult to do, even on this mile and 2/3 course.
Now we've got these guys that are vying for position.
Looks like Jeff Bernard is well behind the pack. He must have had an issue. That's Steve David, Oh Boy Oberto. That's on board with Kip Brown, the Miss Red Dot.
Looks like Kip may be trying to come from the outside to leapfrog these guys. I'm not sure he's got the room to do it.
There's Scott Liddicoat, that black boat all the way to the left. So David will have the inside lane, then it's Villwock. Then a huge gap over to the outside boats. On board with Liddicoat, the rookie. his first start in an Unlimited final. Coming down for the green flag. Green flag in the air. It's a legal start.
Great start by those two guys right there with Kip on the outside.
Remember, it's all about handling today. The speed is good, but this water is really rough.
It is, Bill. That's the roughest we've seen all weekend.
This is the most daring and dramatic part of Unlimited Racing, the first lap of the final. Steve David on the right side of your screen with Dave Villwock on the left. Side by side for the lead.
Here we go, Bill. Watch those wings in the front. Both guys are all over these things trying to keep the boats down on the water.
Now, Steve David has the best position here in the inside lane, but Villwock has the speed.
That's the question, Bill, is who do you want to be? Do you want to be on the inside where you've got a shorter race course, or do you want to be on the outside where you can carry at those speeds?
Right now, Villwock is really working on Steve David. He believes he's going to have the speed to get around him. Look at those boats get out of the water.
Wow, both of them aired out. Of course, again, they're coming into this turn that's ever so important with that hole.
There's Liddycoat, the rookie, his first Unlimited final. And the speed now is working for Villwock. He's taking the lead as they work through turn one.
It is on the outside. Villwock giving Steve David plenty of room, but now this is where we're going to start getting into some rough water that we were talking about.
Only 1 2/3 miles, so they're churning up more water than they've done here in the past, and they get back to it faster.
And that water comes from the shore right back onto the race course where these guys are coming around.
On board with Steve David, the oh boy Oberto, looking forward at Villwock. Now you can really see it's lumpy out there. Villwock using that speed, but wow, out of the water again. On board with Kip Brown. This red dot runs in third.
Nice clean run by Kip there.
That's Liddycoat, Falcon.com. There's the 5. Jeff Bernard had trouble at the start. Boy, it really looks like those boats are sitting down in the water now the way it gets churned up.
Look how beautiful this thing runs, Bill. There's nothing but air underneath there. He's walking on 2 sponsons in the top of the prop.
And working that front wing?
Absolutely.
62 career wins for Dave Villwock. Bill Munsey had 62. We could see a new all-time champion in Unlimited Racing today here in Madison, but Steve David wants something to say about that. Both these drivers really pushing these boats, and you have to make sure you don't get too much air under the bow.
This is a final, Bill, so they're not going to be on that wing as much, but they've got to make sure they're safe.
And if Villwock, he spun out. Steve David has hit Dave Villwock.
I'm not sure, Bill, but that was awfully close to the capsule.
Red flag is out. The race has been stopped. On board with Steve David. Villwock hooked it.
I think he did. He may have fallen into that hole we were talking about.
And we've talked about how handling was critical here and how rough the water can be. Here's another look. Looks like he dives the right sponson in.
Right, Bill. And at that point, you really can't recover because this is mechanical steering. It's not like a car where you've got power steering.
He hit right behind the capsule.
I hope it was behind.
You want to drive it unlimited? Watch and listen. Steve David's boat actually barrel rolled after impact.
It did, Bill. Unfortunately, it landed right side up for Steve.
And it looks like both drivers are climbing out of the cockpit, and we have received a radio report from the pits that both drivers are okay. So that's very good news. Some hard racing, a frightening moment in the final here at Madison. We'll come back to the Ohio River and sort it all out for you in just a moment here on Versus.
This is an infomercial. We're selling freedom. We're advertising honor. The offer is for a new life. Visit us now and receive more than you ever bargained for. The Air Guard. Battlefield Airmen.
Capital One's new Cash Rewards card gives you a 50% annual bonus, so you earn 50% more cash. If you're not satisfied with 50% more cash, send it back. I'll be right here. waiting for it. Who wouldn't want more cash? I'll take it. I'll make it rain up in here.
The new Capital One Cash Rewards Card. The card for people who want 50% more cash.
What's in your wallet? Sorry, I'll clean this up. Shouldn't have made it rain.
Road trip, buddy. Let's put some music on.
Welcome to Learning Spanish in the Car.
You gotta be kidding me. Yeah, this is good.
Vámonos.
Vámonos.
Gracias.
Grace.
Gracias.
13 horas en el carro sin parar y no traes música. Mira, entra y cómprame unas papitas.
Get up to 795 miles per tank in the all-new Volkswagen Passat TDI Clean Diesel.
What part of the chicken is nugget? We're KFC. Our cooks don't make nuggets. They make popcorn chicken. Real 100% off-the-bone premium breast meat. Now you can try a large order for just $2.99. Today tastes so good.
Every week on NFL Turning Point.
We're going to take every man in here together.
We take you inside.
Stay hungry. Let's go.
The game's most critical moments. NFL Turning Point. Thursday night at 10 on Versus.
Celebrate 75 years of the best in racing at Keeneland with 2 weekends of world-class stakes. Live from Kentucky, home of thoroughbred racing. Autumn at Keeneland on NBC and Versus begins next.
Coverage of the 2011 Air National Guard Hydroplane Series is brought to you by Air National Guard. Visit goang.com to learn more about exciting opportunities in your area. Falcon Sports, get out and play paintball. Check falconpaintball.com for a field near you. And by Peters & May. For professional management of your worldwide boat transport and logistics, remember Peters & May.
Back here in Madison, a huge wreck in the final. That's the boat of Dave Vilwack, the Spirit of Guitar. It hooked and was hit broadside by this boat, the Oh Boy Alberto, driven by Steve David. Steve has been taken to a local hospital, but he was smiling and waving as he came back on the rescue boat from the incident scene. Race officials have declared Steve David the winner. Brown second, Litico third, Bernard fourth, and Vilwack disqualified after the wreck. Mike has the official explanation.
We're with Chief Referee Mike Noonan. Mike, after the spray settled on that wild heat, how did you guys arrive at the decision that you did?
Well, per the rule book, what we did was the determination was made that the accident and the stoppage was caused by the actions of the U-96, Dave Vilwack. We scored the heat as the finish of the previous lap, which meant that the U-1, which was the boat that went over, the Oh Boy Alberto, was declared the winner. So our determination was that it was caused by the U-96 Spirit of Guitar, Dave Vilwack.
First of all, Dave, how you feeling?
I'm okay, you know, a lot better than a boat is.
What happened?
Just this river and this short course, it's got too rough up on the downriver side. And, you know, I took a flyer the lap before and he caught up and I was trying to get ahead enough to come over, and I really was enough, but I was trying to leave them enough room so I didn't end the race there for them and whatnot. Turned out I did anyway. You know, just fell into a hole, came around, and that was that.
Did you see him coming?
No, there's a lot of water. When that happens, there's a lot of water everywhere. You just sort of get down low in the cockpit, hoping that they don't hit you.
Now the points after the first race of the season. Steve David, the leader, followed by Kip Brown. Dave Vilwack is third. The rookie Scott Liticote fourth, and Jeff Bernard fifth. And now members of the Oh Boy Alberto team receiving the trophy and the check at the Air National Guard stage just behind pit road. Now, we don't have any additional information on the people injured in the Brian Perkins crash. Hopefully, we'll have an update for you next week from Detroit. Well, partner, you called it. Vilwack just said so. It came down to handling.
Just what we thought, Bill. These guys had to figure out how to get these boats around that race course, and it just didn't work out in the end.
New season, and the key word is new.
Yeah, we've got new drivers, we've got new teams, we've got new starting procedures. Everything's new for 2011.
But the same old point leader. Next week, Detroit.
Boy, it doesn't get any better than that, Bill. That's the biggest, most prestigious race that we have, and drivers absolutely love that race course.
The Gold Cup next Sunday at 4 Eastern on Versus. For Mike Allen, Lynn